I did it all in high school. I got a 99 ATAR and ducks my school. I was school captain in 2023. I played first team rugby. I scored 100 out of 100 in advanced math at just 16 years old, 47 out of 50 in extension. I was a year 11 accelerated student. First in all subjects and even state ranked. And the big question is, can you do it all and be that student whilst having a social life? I most certainly did. Had my fair share of going out with the boys and having some good nights. Today, I want to give you guys 5 pragmatic steps that you can take to do this in your own life and become that student just like I was in year 11 and 12. So these 5 steps I'm going to go through are going to absolutely change your life and allow you to not just be that academic student or just that music student or just that athlete, how to be everything and be a serious all-rounder across the board. Plus, I'm going to give you some bonus 99 ATAR secrets as well. Now, the first thing I want to preface before we get into it is that it's not about natural ability or luck. I have a lot of natural ability in academics, but I was not a natural leader. I was not naturally good at footy or sport. I wasn't naturally social. I wasn't naturally good at speaking. I was pretty introverted as a kid. But I put in the work to get there, and that's what you guys can do. And I'm just gonna give you some examples from my students inside Elite Achievers. For example, Mahesh, he literally told me how English was his 6th subject. He used my skeleton essay structure, which is goated, as he said, and he got 25 out of 25 in his year 11 English assessment. Sammy as well came to me saying that, you know, wasn't that naturally intelligent, 100% in chemistry, 95 in biology. All of these wins as well, literally insane, 20% improvements. You don't need to be naturally smart to be good in school. You don't need to be naturally social to be a good leader. You don't need to be naturally good at sport and gifted with hand-eye coordination to be good at sport or good at whatever sport you play. You just need to do the work, and that's what I'm gonna show you how to do today. So let's get straight into it. I'm not here to waste your time. The first step that you guys need to realize, and this is more of a mindset tip, not really a step that you actually take, but before anything, you need to fix your mindset. You need to realize that I didn't balance any of this stuff. Everyone asked me, how did you balance all this stuff? How did you balance a 99 ATAR, ducks in your school, being school captain, first 15? I even had a relationship at the time, guys. It was insane. I did a lot, not to toot my own horn, but you guys want to do the same as I did, so here you are learning from me. Balance is not what I did. I don't like saying that I balanced everything, because I didn't. I don't think balance is a real thing. I think balance is a myth. I think instead the word you're looking for is prioritization, because let's look at this little weighing thing here. This word balance literally entails 50-50 and is not 50-50. That is not how the world works, and it's definitely not how it works. Because if you want to get amazing results and exceptional results in any field, school, sport, anything, you should not be resting 50% of the time. This is what balance means. Literally, the definition of balance is doing 2 things, basically 50-50. That is what balance means. For me, it wasn't balance. This is more what life looked like. Study and work and anything that was actually hard was way more and weighed more than rest. However, I'm gonna show you today exactly the next 4 steps how to manage that. So this first step, you need to understand that balance for me and for you, if you really want to be exceptional and do it all like I did, does not exist. You need to be prioritizing. Balance is a myth, because this is not what balance looks like. This is what it should look like. And that definitely is not balance. This is balance, but we don't want that. We want this. That's prioritization. That's what we want. What we're going to be doing is ordering our priorities. What you can do, actionable step, is get your notes out, get a laptop, get a phone, literally go on your notes app, Notion, or even just get a pen and paper. And I want you to do this exercise for me right now. We're going to order our priorities. As I said up here, it's all about prioritization, not balance. So we're going to see what are our priorities. First of all, we're doing a lot. We want to do a lot of things. There's different seasons in your life. For example, I was doing study, leadership, training, and my social life. So there's 3 different seasons, main seasons I had in my life. There was exams, there was speeches, when I had speeches or assemblies for school captain, and when I had a really big footy game on the weekend. What you have to realize, guys, is your priorities right now will not be your priorities tomorrow. They might be tomorrow, maybe not in a term's time or 2 terms time, even a year's time. Your priorities shift because, again, we have different seasons. Our seasons change, and so do your priorities. In my exam periods, study was number 1. Leadership was number 2. Training was number 3 and social was number 4. Didn't really care about my social life when I was in the middle of exams, right? When I had a speech, a big speech coming up, leadership was number 1. I had to write that speech, get prepared for assembly, all that sort of stuff. Study was number 2. It was still very important for me. Social life was number 3 because really I wanted to be around other people. You know, I was being social and preparing for the assembly and also going out a bit more. And then training was number 4. I kind of just put footy on the back burner. And then when I had a big footy game coming up, training was number 1. I really had to train for that footy game. I was training every single day with the boys in the gym. Social life was number 2 because, as I said, when I had big footy games, usually there's an after party after the game. We got together before the game. We'd have a captain's run the day before. That was all social stuff. So for me, social was number 2. Study became number 3 because, as I said, study would never be number 4 for me because I was trying to get the 99 ATAR. Study was always, overall my number one thing. But just because study is your number one thing, it doesn't mean it should always be your number one. In different seasons, yes, overall, study is number one. However, in different seasons of your life, study won't be number one, and it shouldn't be. Otherwise, you're just gonna be one-dimensional, and you don't wanna be, because if you wanna do it all, like I did, you wanna be multi-dimensional. So study was number 3, and then leadership was number 4, because let's be real, I was playing footy. I didn't really need to care about being school captain when, I was going to school and playing footy, so it didn't really matter. Now, take this in another way as well. You can be thinking of your priorities in terms of your curriculars versus school and extracurriculars and that sort of stuff. And then also, you can be thinking of it in terms of your subjects. You need to be ordering your priorities in terms of your subjects so you can balance all your subjects and come first in all your subjects, just like I did, state rank 9 on ATAR Doctor School. So when I was in year 11, I did accelerated math. So math was my number one priority no matter what. This was like 80% of my study, and then the rest of this was like 20% of my study. Math was the sole importance. And obviously I had advanced math, and I had extension math as well. So that together was like 80% of my study. So English was number 2, chemistry was number 3, physics was number 4, and SOL was number 5. Now I did come first in all those subjects as well, but they weren't as important as math. I was grinding in math. Then in year 12, that changed because math went. I went from doing math and being 80% in math to not doing any math at all because I graduated, got my 100 out of 100, my 47 out of 50. So chemistry became my number 1 because I naturally, out of the 2 sciences, I sucked the most at chemistry. Like I didn't suck, but naturally I was better at physics. So I did chemistry as my number 1, physics is number 2 because I knew that I wanted to ace sciences, which I did. English was number 3, and SOL was number 4, which is funny because I actually state ranked in my lowest priority subject. So it's kind of funny, isn't it? These are my priorities in certain years, and it actually can change at times. When there's exam periods, you might have English first, like you do in the HSC where you have English first. So English actually jumps up to number 1. This is changing. What I'm trying to get at here is that seasons change. So do your priorities. The number 1 mindset tip you need is that prioritization is always greater than balance. Our first 2 steps is that you need to realize that prioritization is greater than balance, and then order your priorities. Please, right now, pause this video if you haven't done it. Think of all the different seasons in your life and all the different priorities, number them overall, then number them in the different seasons you're in. For example, you might be coming up to trials or prelims, or you're in year 10 or year 9, you've got exams coming up, whatever it is, or you don't have many exams, you got footy tryouts or soccer tryouts, or you got drum practice, drama practice, whatever it is, guys. Seasons change, so do your priorities. Please, please, please make sure you've got your priorities ordered right now because you need it for this next step. So you've ordered your priorities, perfect. Now the next step you need to be taking is time blocking. We've realized that prioritization is greater than balance. We've ordered our priorities. Now to do it all, we actually have to put that onto a calendar and time block so we know when we're going to do what, because it gets so much when you've got it in your head. I've got 4 different priorities. Oh my God, I've got so much shit going on. If you externalize that stress onto a Google Calendar, onto Notion, I don't care which one you use, it takes so much stress away from you. It externalizes the stress and you just feel peace. As I said, I don't care, Google Calendar, Notion, you just need to be using either one. They're both holy grails, you can use either one. I find Notion, people get too worried about optimizing the templates and stuff, so I just use Google Calendar. I actually use Notion Calendar, but you can use Google Calendar, same thing, Apple Calendar, I don't care what you use, just use a calendar. What you guys have to realize is, stuff with the highest priority, so for me was, let's say for example, in that exam period, study was my highest priority. That meant that study had the highest time. Higher priorities have higher times. And to invert that, lower priorities have lower times. And what I mean by time is the level of priority, the number of priority of a task, of an event, of a certain curriculum or certain aspect of your life reflects its time allocation. A higher priority has more time allocated. Does that not make logical sense? If you're saying to me that school is your most important thing, but you're spending more time doing footy training than school and studying, well, that doesn't really make sense to me. That doesn't make sense at all. Now, what you need to do is realize some priorities might be higher, but actually need less time. And some priorities might be lower, but need more time. It's a whole big mind psyop. But what you need to realize is your priorities that are higher are things that you're going to allocate more time to. And one thing that I love doing, and I'll talk about the traffic light system with study, and we're going to get onto that a bit later, but using the traffic light system with Google Calendar or just your time blocking is such a cheat code, guys. Like, it is genuinely an amazing thing to do. Let me explain it to you. So basically with the traffic light system, we know that a green subject means that you're really good with it. A orange subject or yellow subject means you're kind of in the middle, and the red subject just means you're pretty shit with it, right? Now the traffic light system with time blocking works pretty differently. The colors still have the same sort of meaning, but not necessarily. So basically, our red colors are our deep work tasks. Our deep work tasks are red. Warning, red, make sure you do them. Our orange tasks are more shallow work. You need to know the difference between deep work and shallow work, because deep work is what I'm going to talk about next. Shallow work is a bit more shallow. You should be focusing, but it's more shallow. And then green is rest, which you need to be making sure that you prioritize your rest as well. Again, prioritize. We're not balancing rest in, but in certain periods of your life, rest is going to be number 1. I actually didn't mention this up here, but rest needs to be number 1. Now, for me, rest was more social, but Whatever your rest is, playing the guitar is another one for me. So I've given you an example of when I was in year 12, what my traffic light system Google Calendar would have looked like. This is actually a Notion calendar, but same thing. First of all, I'd get home and people always ask me my schedule coming home from school. So this might be an example. Coming home, doing half an hour of Anki review, question decks, just whatever, just like shallow stuff, not too hard, because probably this probably wouldn't be close to exams, so not many question decks right now. Shallow work, literally just like, I might have some music on in the background, I'm not sure, I might be sitting on the couch while I'm doing it. However, once I hit that red task, and you really have to do it and make your brain realize that red means go, red means danger, I need to do that red, I need to lock in here. When you have a red task, like doing past papers, that could be an example, that is when you're focusing and you're in a deep work block. I'll talk about in a second how we're going to get that deep work in, but make sure red means you're seriously focused. Then after that, make sure you're not going from red to red. I like to always have a green after a red. So we can go into orange to red or red to orange, but I like to always have a green in between two reds or after a red, because you need to rest and recover between two big study sessions. Now, I like to use the analogy of the gym, and I'll use this all the time, guys. You need to realize that the way to build muscle is the person who goes to the gym 4 times a week and has adequate rest, hits the sauna, sleeps 8 hours, will do better and will build more muscle than the person that goes 7 days a week, has so much volume. Yes, he trains more and might eat more calories, but probably gonna get fat because he eats his calories. And then also, he won't recover, so he won't be able to actually build muscle, because muscles are built when you're sleeping, right? Actually, another thing of this, you know, your neurons in your brain, the actual networks and the connections they make to actually make you learn things are made when you're sleeping and when you're resting. So if you just spam studying, cramming, it's actually stupid, like seriously. And we're gonna get into deep work in a second, but there's a reason I only allocate an hour or 2 hours max to my deep work sessions. I would never allocate more than 2 hours to your deep work. I would never do that unless you're doing a past paper, 3 hours, like a whole mock past paper. But other than that, 2 hours max for a deep work session, because a lot of you are doing 4 hours of work, but you're actually getting an hour work done. That brings me into my fourth little tip, guys, my fourth step. Deep work. This is going off what I just talked about. I guarantee you right now, and I can challenge any one of you guys, I will give you literally like $1,000 if you can prove to me that 1 hour of your work is better than 1 hour of my work. Maybe not $1,000, but you know what I mean. That's how confident I am in my ability and my work ethic. It's not my ability, it's my work ethic. That 1 hour of my work is probably equivalent to 4 hours of your guys' work. Now I say that trying to sound as arrogant as possible, because I want you guys to think, holy shit, I am so not lazy, but a lot of you are very lazy. 4 hours of my work is just an hour of his work. What I would get done in 4 hours, Jed gets done in 1 hour. And that's the reason why I beat everyone else, because I study for less, but I get more done in that time. How do you get more done? And really, I have this quote here because it's true. It's true in life. We know that time equals money. Now that I'm earning money and I've got my own business, I know for a fact that the amount of time I spend in that business and the amount of time I've got free is money. When I'm wasting time doing stuff that doesn't really matter, I'm not making money. I'm making money when I'm making these videos and doing elite achievers and that sort of stuff as well. So time is money. How do we make our time actually be profitable? Now, I'm not talking about money for you guys. I'm talking more about marks, but let's just say profitable, a return on investment on our time for our marks. Two things. The biggest thing that you can do is either Forest or YPT. This is Forest and YPT. These are focus apps. What they do is, one, they track your time when you're studying, and two, they keep you focused because, well, they block your apps. They block Instagram, they block TikTok. You give it screen time privileges and it can block Instagram, it can block TikTok, it can block YouTube. And the third thing that's really cool is they can actually track your time and you can join groups and compete against other people. For example, inside Elite Achievers, we have quite a few YPT groups. And like right now, as I look at my laptop right now, there's someone that's done 6 hours of work today. They're in year 12. I'm up to 5 hours today, but it's about 9:30 at night. Someone's done 6 hours and I'm not competitive, even me thinking I need to beat these people. That competitive spirit inside Elite Achievers we have, and we have YPT groups that you can join when you're inside Elite Achievers. Guys, when you work, you work. Such a simple saying, but that's what you need to be doing. When you're working, you need to be working. 4 main things you can do other than focus apps, of course. There's 4 main things you can do to get here. 1, you need to start from day on. Actually, what I want you to do is write on a piece of paper, Jed McDonald-Singh, 0 multitasking policy. I, insert name, am hereon not allowed to multitask, ever. No multitasking. You literally get nothing done. Now, this is my analogy and my theory on multitasking, guys. I always work hard and play hard. A lot of you guys study for 4 hours, but 2 hours of that study, 3 hours of that study, you're half-assing it on the phone, FaceTiming someone on Snapchat, talking to the girls, talking to the boys. What I implore that you do is cut that time down to an hour and a half instead of 4 hours, or even 2 hours instead of 4 hours, halve it, times it by a quarter, and actually just do the work. If you lock in and don't have any distractions and just focus and don't multitask, you will probably get double the amount of work done in half the amount of time. So you're 4xing your productivity. Does that make sense? If you from here on out say, I'm not gonna multitask, that is seriously the highest yield thing you can do. I'm making this video right now. I'm doing nothing else. I've got my laptop on just timing myself. I've got nothing on. I'm not watching the footy and working. I'm not on my Elite Achievers calls and on my phone doing stuff, looking at DMs. I'm doing one thing at a time and I'm focusing on that one thing. The next is environmental control. And I love this little image down here that I've got. When you think of discipline, a lot of you guys think of willpower and your productivity, right? You guys focus on willpower and discipline. This is what your productivity looks like if you just focus on willpower and discipline. It's erratic, it's not consistent. If you focus on environmental design, like using the focus apps, like getting rid of all your distractions, if you take off the ability and the choice for you to even get distracted, you actually improve your productivity and your focus as well. We're trying to get you into a flow state. All these 4 things are trying to get you into a flow state, because the flow state is what you need when you're doing a 1 hour and a half, 2 hour study blocks. Environmental design is the most important thing you can do. Don't rely on willpower and discipline. Rely on environmental design. Environmental design is systems. I talk about the word system a lot inside Elite Achievers because it's literally the most important thing for your study. I'll talk about that in a sec. But environmental design is so important. Let me give you an example. I recently moved out of home and I have a fold out bed. So my bed's fold out, and I'm at my parents' house right now, but obviously my bed's fold out. Now I used to have a very bad habit of getting up, going to eat breakfast and then lying in bed and doing my work. And sometimes I'd even fall asleep and nap, which obviously is horrible, right? What the fold out bed did for me, I didn't realize it. I didn't intentionally do this. I had to fold up my bed. So when I got up, I folded my bed up and my bed was folded up. I took the sheets off. I took the blankets off. The pillows were in the drawer. What that meant is if I wanted to get back into bed and even go back to sleep, I had to put the pillows back on, the sheets back on, the blanket back on, bring the bed down, get the stand and the legs on. What an effort. It was more effort for me to actually do the bad habit than to do the good habit. And this is a seriously fundamental concept from James Clear's Atomic Habits. You want to make the good habits sticky and the bad habits not sticky at all. That bad habit of me going into bed was not sticky because I had a fold up bed. Think of your bad habits right now: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, talking to your friends. What are some ways that we can make that not sticky? Focus apps is a really good way. That's one way we can do environmental control. Focus apps are a great way to do that. How else you can do that? Chuck in the comments if you have anything you need help with, anything that doesn't let you be productive, and I can kind of help you out on how you can do some environmental control for them. As I've alluded to, guys, shorter, more intense blocks always beat longer, less intense blocks. I've already explained this. 1 hour of my work is 4 hours of your work. So start doing 1 hour of work and doing the same as 4 hours of your work with shorter, more intense blocks. And the last thing that I'll talk about is a work ritual. Work rituals are basically sitting down and doing the same little ritual or superstitious ritual before you study to lock you in. For example, what I do before I study is I turn my back blue light on, or even work, because right now I'm in my locked in work mode. I'm so locked in right now. I turn my back blue light on, turn those lights off. Usually if I'm working or studying, I'll put my headphones on, I'll turn YPT on, and I'll make sure I have a glass of water. Once I click play or like start on YPT, I'm locked in and that is it. Now, you won't naturally have this in your brain to focus straight away, but because I've done this over the last 6 months, I've had this exact ritual. After about a month or two, my brain started to make neurological connections between this ritual and this set of events and me focusing. Now, this set of events is so unique that I would only ever do this if I was working, right? So what you need to do is come up with a routine, a little ritual before you study. It could be getting, putting YPT on. It could be getting some water like I do. It could be getting a tea. Could be putting on your favorite background music. Whatever it is, putting your headphones on and clicking start on YPT is a very good one that I like to do. You only do those things when you work and when you're focusing, so that when you're actually doing deep work, that ritual creates connections in your brain to go, oh my God, now I've done it. Your brain fires and go, okay, we're here to focus. If you do that, you'll be focusing so much. And those 4 things, zero multitasking, environmental control, shorter, more intense blocks, and a work ritual will get you into flow state so quickly you won't even recognize yourself. Now, lastly, we can talk about priorities and deep work and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, we're talking about school here. And if you're not studying properly, it means nothing. Why? Because inefficient study methods waste so much time. The most prominent examples, handwritten notes. I don't care if you want to argue in the comments if handwritten notes are great. They take so long. Even if you're going to write notes, at least type them. But seriously, notes just in general, don't do them. But handwritten notes take too much time. Textbook questions are such a high cost of your time for such a low yield task. You literally are doing questions that aren't going to pop up in the exam. Yes, cool, if you want to do fundamentals, sure. But they're questions that aren't going to pop up in the exam. They're not worth your time. Now, lastly, cramming. The reason you don't want to be cramming is because it takes up so much of your time. If you're cramming for like 6 hours a day before a test, if you had just done half an hour every day, maybe even for that week or even 2 weeks, you literally would have done better in that test and probably retain 10 times more information than you crammed, and you waste time. And it's just like, just don't do it, guys. Over the past 3 years, I have crafted the perfect study system that is efficient and effective. So time efficient is insane. This isn't just something I've made up in ChatGPT. Over the last 3 years, in year 10, 11, 12, first year of uni, and now I'm in my second year of uni, I have trialed and errored. I started using Anki. I actually started off using Notes, tried Anki, didn't like Anki, went back to Notes, then realized Notes suck, went back to Anki, used them, did Anki in textbook questions, realized the textbook questions suck. I came across THSC, now I'm using past papers, right? So Anki is my first pillar, then past papers, then traffic light system. I teach you guys inside Elite Achievers exactly how to use this system. Plus I give you guys done for you Anki decks, past paper resources, and a traffic light system template for you to kill it. And there's a 30-day challenge that keeps you committed and literally so consistent with this stuff. 1 hour of this study is 3 hours of your notes and textbooks. Now, these past 2 dot points, 4 and 5, deep work and study, I've been talking about time a lot. Time is so important. Time is money. We need to be saving time so that you can play footy, you can do what you're like. For me, play footy, you can do leadership, all that other stuff. You need to be saving time on your study and certain things so that you can actually do everything you want to do. If you're actually doing deep work and you're studying properly, you can literally shave off at least half of your time that you're spending studying. That literal half of your time, you can put into your extracurriculars and do it all just like I did. So studying properly is so important, and this is the power of studying properly. And I'm just going to preface this, like Elite Achievers is changing lives. It's my premium online community where literally for tutoring, you pay $100 an hour. For Elite Achievers, you pay literally less than the price of one tutoring session per month. And you get taught every single subject. You get taught how to study and productivity, mindset, procrastination, because tutoring and teachers don't teach you that stuff. There's a whole community of students that are on track to getting 90 plus ATARs, collaborate. It's an amazing, we even have Discord nights. We literally hop on Discord on a Friday, Saturday night and play games together. Like, it's sick. It's such a cool community. And right now it's the cheapest it'll ever be. Link in the description for that. And these are the results we're getting. Like Caleb here recently, like literally yesterday, got some huge wins in term 1, hitting his goals thanks to the program, of course. First in all his subjects except for Extension 1 Math. 24 out of 25, 24 out of 25, 20 out of 20 with English, my elite English guide. 30 out of 30 extension history. My elite math guides are getting him second and first in extension 1, extension 2 math. Then Matt got some massive wins a couple of weeks ago. 20 out of 20, literally aced every single exam. There's with my elite math guide. This is with my English guide. Everything he's learning to study properly literally says that I'm an absolute legend because I'm saving lives here with this stuff, guys. We've gone over the 5 steps that I use to get a 9 on ATAR with 100 out of 100 in math, 97 in English, 95 in my sciences. How I got ducks, state ranked, first in all my subjects. I was school captain. I played first team rugby and I had a social life. The 5 steps that got me there, as I'll go over them just to recap. Number 1, realize and have the mindset that prioritization is greater than balance. Number 2, order your priorities. Number 3, please time block and use a traffic light system with that. Number 4, deep work, and those 4 things I showed you to get into flow state quicker. Number 5, study properly, my 3-step study system, Anki, past papers, and the traffic light system. And number 6, really the last step, join Elite Achievers. If you're not inside, you're missing out. Link in the description. You can check below. Just go below this video and check below. We are changing lives and taking over Aussie education. We're making tutoring obsolete because we're teaching students that you need to learn how to study, then learn productivity and mindset, then you can learn the subjects. Tutoring and teachers don't teach you any of that stuff. That's exactly how I did it all in school, and absolutely was so successful in school. Not even to toot my own horn. It's literally just facts. I'm not trying to be arrogant or come across as arrogant. I literally just did it. So these are the 5 steps that I use, and join Elite Achievers if you don't want to fall behind, and you'll be part of the movement that is absolutely revolutionizing Australian education.